Hello crafty friends, I'm Tanya DeRoy from Ink Responsibly, and today I'm sharing with you how I made my swap for Onstage Local at Sydney, Australia. Now I struggle with doing one layer cards, so that was the challenge I set out, and I highlighted the gorgeous lady from Beautiful You using the shaving foam Reinkers marbling technique. So let's get started. I'll show you how I did that. So for today's project, we're going to need a piece of perfect plum. Now these are the sizes we use in Australia. So this is half an A4. So that is 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8 inches. And I've scored that halfway at 4 1/8 of an inch. We'll just pop that to the side. And then our first mat is a piece of Island Indigo. Now that measures 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 5/8. And that is going to sit on here, like that. Then I have a scrap of Sahara sand. We'll pop that to the side. Now I've just got a couple of pieces of Whisper White cardstock. That is 1/4 of a sheet. And this is what we're going to use to do our shaving foam marbling technique. So just grab plain shaving foam. The cheaper the brand, the better. And don't use shaving gel. So here are a couple of examples in Australia. Give it a really good shake. And with shaving foam or an aerosol, it's important that you don't spray upside down, because then you're just going to get all the gas out. So that one's nearly empty. There we go. And you can use as much or as little as you like, but you need to be able to cover the bottom of your pan. And I just reuse an old gift card and just spread that out so it's relatively flat. And that can go off to the side. So there you go, that's roughly, I've got about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in the bottom, or 2 to 3 centimeters of shaving foam. So with our Reinkers, we're going to, so this one's Pool Party. Just 3 drops of that. Then Bermuda Bay. Now I love doing all my colouring with Reinkers. I just think they are fabulous. I do so much colouring, and I have yet to use, and this one's Island Indigo, I have yet to use even 1/4 of a bottle of one of my Reinkers. Okay, so now either taking a chopstick, a fork, or whatever, I happen to have some snips on hand. What we're going to do is we're going to make some swirls. We just want to make sure that we don't have giant blobs of Reinkers. So once we've mixed that a little bit, and also what you can do, you can introduce some of the white as well to get a lighter look. Okay. So once you have your shaving foam, I'll just bring that up closer so you can see. Oh, here's a blob down here. There we go. Then we're just simply going to take one of our pieces of Whisper White and smush it in. Using some great English. And then we're going to lift that up. Now it doesn't matter these large amounts of shaving foam left on it. I like to leave it for about 30 seconds. Then give it another little swirl, and you can keep creating patterns. and place it in again. Now if you lift it up and you find that you have a section that doesn't have a pattern, you can place it back in. So just for time's sakes, I'm going to stop at 2, but you can keep going and every piece will turn out slightly different. So now we're just going to grab a bit of paper towel and you wipe away your shaving foam. So when they're done, you can either let that air dry or you can speed that up with your heat tool because it feels a little bit damp from the moisture in the shaving foam. And a quick tip, if you find when you're using your heat tool to dry that your paper curls up, flip it over and blast it a little bit, dry it a little bit with your heat tool on the opposite side, and that will flatten it out. Okay, so I'm going to take this one for my lady today. Now, using our embossing buddy, we're just going to go over, and I'm going to use this lady here from Beautiful You. And I'm just going to Versamark that up. And I'm going to use the copper embossing powder. And there she is. So now we're going to stamp a sentiment on top. And I'm going to use Celebrate. And I'm going to stamp that with Island Indigo. I like to draw on the colours that I use within my card. There we go. And while I'm still stamping, I'm going to take this tiny in-style sentiment here, and just with Memento, I'm going to stamp a repeating pattern. Okay, now to finish our lady, because if you look at this one and then you look at this one, we need to remove the colour. So all I've done is I've filled an aqua painter with bleach. This is undiluted and I've marked this one so that I know. So it's very important when you use bleach that you don't get it on your clothes. And all I'm going to do is remove the colour from her hat. So I'm just going to go over that area and then her dress. And you'll see it's starting to lighten around that area, so I can keep going. If I need to remove a bit more, I can go over that again. Now just to create a bit of ground for her to stand on, I'm going to stamp along the bottom using one of the swirls. There we are. So this is continuing to lighten as it dries. Sorry, my video stopped recording. What I did was I wasn't happy with how my stamping turned out before. I didn't ink up enough. So I've just put a little banner on the top here over that word in Pool Party with a little strip underneath in the Island Indigo. Now here's my stamped sentiment of in style that I've repeated along on the Sahara sand. Now to make our lady sparkle, I'm using my Wink of Stella and I'm just simply painting over the top of the bleach. It's important to wait for the bleach to have dried thoroughly. And this is making my lady dress and her hat shimmer and sparkle. So now I'm ready to put my card together. So I'm going to glue this straight down. And I'm just using fast fuse for this. Now I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of here. And there you are. There is the shaving foam Reinker marbling technique using bleach and Wink of Stella. I hope you like that and you give it a try as well. Until next time everybody, stay crafty. Bye!